Episode 8 of the Sax Cast. We are back. Boys, how are we feeling today?
The sun's out in Pittsburgh, boys. That's all I got to say.
I just want to, for the listener and the people watching on YouTube, these guys are fresh off of recording 3 podcasts in a row.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's light work for them. I love it. So this is going to be a good episode. They're going to be delirious. They've been talking so much about American League Baseball. We don't know what's going to come out of their mouth.
It's a grind, man. It's an absolute grind. But this is a safe space. This is somewhere where we can just kind of let loose. Right, Scott? We could just speak our mind, get it out there for the world to see. We're living life on this XCast. That's how I like it.
Absolutely. I'm not thinking about Julio Rodriguez, Vladimir Guerrero, any of those losers. I'm thinking about just us 3 boys.
We got a lot going on, Sax. You and I specifically had a long day at the airport, which we're going to get into a little bit later. But Scott mentioned the sun was out today. Did you hop on the bike at all? Did you have any time to get on the bike?
When I left you, I went and I hopped on the bike because my bike's still in the shop. And I biked around Pittsburgh, and people are out walking around. It's perfect weather Pittsburgh. Remember, summertime shy, perfect weather Pittsburgh. It was buzzing. I did a lap around the point. I did a loop over the bridges. I was zipping around. I got a couple people waving at me, which is crazy. Always crazy. And man, this is going to be such a good summer. People are out and about. Fantastic.
Love it, man. I'm jealous that I wasn't there at the airport today. By the way, boys, I have 9 to 5, and I couldn't leave my desk today. But
so, we'll just kind of so I was invited to go tour the brand new airport terminal, arrivals and departures terminal, and I invited these guys. And Adam could make it. Scott gets monitored. They have a GPS on his chip in his tooth. And if he's not being efficient for
he was created by Anthony Fauci, by the way.
It was implanted on his 3rd booster. We all know that the 3rd booster had the chips in it. That's when they had enough time to engineer that. And we went to, should we just do it now, Adam?
Yeah, well, let me say this.
Yeah.
Sax was kind enough to invite myself and Scott. Fortunately, I was able to make it. What a day it turned out to be. Just length. I did not expect to be there for that long and get on a bus, then off a bus, and on a bus. Saw Keep Pittsburgh Dope. Our good friend Chance was there. And then other media. So it was Chance, who's very modern day social media influencer, Sax Boy, obviously, same category. Social media is king, and then me. And they were going around asking everybody who they're with, and everyone's like, "Oh, I'm with KDKA, or I'm with W52M Farts, or whatever."
Yeah, W2 Wheeling and all these actual news stations, and then and then the guy goes right to Adam,
and he goes, "Who are you with?" I'm like, Saxcast.
He went Saxcast.
Could have said Bucko Banter. Could have made up something.
What did he say?
He said,
they just moved on.
And he looked at me and said, "You too?" And I was like, "Yeah." I guess he kind of knew who I was, but just to identify yourself as this.
Saxcast.
You should have said 93.7 The Fan.
I could have made up anything.
I mean, you went around the room, you went around the circle in this thing. It was probably years of schooling and experience in being big J's and grinding, and then it's like me and Scott, or me and Adam, and it's like Saxcast.
It was brutal, dude. It was
Talked
brutal,
about
but
Mongolia.
We're on the 9th episode of our podcast.
yeah. So we hopped on a bus. We met up behind the current landside terminal, got on a
Okay.
bus. They drove us through like massive construction, just
Fallujah.
weaving in and out all the way up until the new terminal,
Okay.
which is where from the new landslide, from the current landslide terminal to the new one, that's where the commuter train goes from,
Yeah.
essentially. That's about the length that it is. And it took a while to get over there. We
Yeah,
had to
this
take-
bus ride, it was basically like we're weaving around through like dirt roads with dust kicking up, and it looked like we were in war-torn Iraq.
yeah, it was
Fallujah.
Fallujah, yeah.
Fallujah.
It was wild. We had to get out. We had to
There was
take
so much happening.
a safety orientation class. So we had to get our helmets. We had to wear gloves, the orange vest, and then from there we got back on the bus.
Scott, I put on my helmet. I was trying to wear this safety helmet with my pirate's hat on it.
Didn't work. Didn't work at all.
And the lady comes over. She's like, "Are you trying to sneak your hat out?" I was like,
It's on brand. Gotta stay on
Yeah.
brand. So they took us to the new landside terminal, and I'll tell you this. And Sax has been to, what'd you say, 24 airports this year or
something,
last
maybe
year?
even more. Yeah.
And I obviously been to quite a few airports in my day. Scott's been to a couple of airports, to say the least. This has to be shaping up to be one of the nicest airports ever. Like, it's that nice.
There's Singapore, there's Istanbul, and then there's Pittsburgh.
Dude,
Those
it
are the
was
nicest airports you've been to?
It actually is. It's really nice.
it's crazy nice. And
It's
they're like,
crazy nice.
they're like, yeah, we're trying to like tie it because like the new airport, what says Pittsburgh about it besides Franco Harris, right? When you go down the escalator. So they're trying to
The old airport.
integrate, yeah, the old one. So they're trying to integrate into the new one like a Pittsburgh feeling. I don't know how it feels like Pittsburgh just looking. It looks like just like a modern day, like corporate type, like it's like really make everything as modern as possible, which I'm not complaining about, but it has like a Rolls Royce roof with like
It has like a
LED
rolling
lighting.
hills roof.
Yeah,
With like kind of like some like wooded thing, and then it's gonna have it's gonna have 4 outdoor green spaces, which are gonna have local wildlife, and yeah, I'm sure it'll have more Pittsburgh stuff. It's just a really nice airport. I don't even know. Yeah, it's like
It's-
really.
super spacious. The security problem with the lines is seemingly going to go out the door. There's 12 new lines compared to 7, I think they said. And you don't have to take your laptop out of your bag anymore. You don't have to take your liquids out of your bag. You can kind of just walk right through. You still have TSA, you'll still have clear. And then the walk from security to whatever gate you want is like 15 seconds, dude. Like legitimately, you just walk right through and you're at the main terminal. It's crazy.
I had a few notes, Scott, and I think this one's gonna bum me out, man. You ready for it?
It's here.
They're getting rid of Buford's.
It's okay.
Oh, the Buford's.
Sax was real worked up about that.
I was like
Nah.
legit asking people like, "Hey, are we gonna be moving Buford's?" And it was funny because where they cut the hole in the old terminal to connect the new terminal was where the old TGI Fridays was, right, Adam?
Yeah, and they mentioned it many times.
They mentioned the TGI Fridays as like a touch point like 10 times. Like you remember the old TGI Fridays? That's where this new extremely complex conveyor belt will be, and like it was a lot of fun, man. It was a really pinch me moment. Us like with our like full gear on, like walking around with people like doing makeup, preparing for their like close up of their news hit. And then it's like the two of us like I'm like, yo, Adam,
Buffoons.
like film me like making fun of Buford's.
Yeah. People are like asking how the security is going to be decreased or what's going to be more efficient. And Sachs just leans over. He's like, well, what about the Bufords? What, what about
Scott,
it?
you know that guy when you leave the last person you see, like when you're leaving out of the train, there's a guy that makes sure that no one walks back into the
Yeah.
yeah, they're gonna get rid of that. And I was like, what that's a job. That's a job. We're getting rid of like
Automation,
what?
man.
4 jobs here. How are we gonna
Nah.
replace that job?
Yeah.
I would do that job. I would do the job where I just sit in a chair and just make sure people don't walk back into the airport.
Yeah, it's an important job. It's
I
a
think I'd
really
be good
important
at it.
job. I think you'd be great at it, Sachs.
I think
Maybe there's
yeah.
a future there. Who knows? It was really cool though, man. I'm looking forward to flying out of there late this year. It's going to be 92% done, and then we'll be able to fly out of it. And then the rest of the project is going to be the terminal as you know it right now, where all the gates are, and they're gonna kind of match the aesthetic there to go with what they're building now. But
When
really
we
cool.
came in, it was basically they have like 2 different shifts that they do. And it was we went in between a shift break. So that's why like when we were going in, all these trucks were pulling out and it was like so chaotic and it was kind of interesting. I had a couple of DMs of people that work on the site. They were like, "Oh, you were there. That's awesome." So work safe. Keep on doing the good work and we got a gem coming our way. It's pretty awesome. And no public money,
No public money.
which is like
love
that's a
that.
big deal. Billionaires should buy their own stadiums.
Real quick, one negative about it.
Oh, I already said it. Buford's.
Let's put Buford's aside, Sachs.
Okay.
Let's put it aside for a second. No dinosaur.
Oh, that's tough. How about is Franco still there though, right?
No one asked about Franco because
Okay.
I think that's assumed.
But when
is
you
gonna
look at
make
the
it over.
Franco, like everything about that Franco statue says like 1996, and everything about the new airport says like extremely modern.
It says like 2055.
Yeah, it's
great,
like
great.
it would look so out of place. They would have to build some sort of module, like where he's like, I don't know, like it looks like Zordon or something.
Holographic.
Yeah, like a
dinosaur.
holographic sort of thing.
How about let's forget about Frank. Well, I don't want to forget about Franco, but how about bring us into the 21st century and let's have a Jack Sawinski statue in the middle of the airport.
Can you imagine?
What? Hey Scott, do you
Zach,
know
don't
what? Do you
give
know
me
what?
that face.
Do you know what a terrazzo floor is? You're
No.
Italian.
Nah.
They said
That's not
terrazzo
Italian.
floor. They said terrazzo floor minimum 100 times.
Oh,
So many.
Terrazzo. You didn't
Yeah.
emphasize it. Okay, yeah, I know what that is.
Shut the fuck up.
I was like, I really wish Scott was here to interpret.
The floor is a floor made from a mixture of small stones and a binding material like cement or epoxy. So no more clickety clack when you're
No
rolling
more clickety clack.
suitcase. And
hate
there's
that
going to be they basically said this airport was built for people in the 1970s because there's no outlets anywhere. There's nowhere to charge a phone. And
They built
nobody
it
had
for
rolling
what before there
suitcases.
was roller bags.
Yeah.
Wait. There's no
They
outlet?
they built it before there was roller bags. That's why they weren't expecting the clickety clack of the floor to be an issue.
Oh, you're talking. Okay, gotcha.
Well, and then there's not many outlets because nobody was planning on everyone wanting to charge everything that you ever need ever to travel. So really cool. It was exhausting. I felt like I went on like a school field trip.
It really did
But-
feel like that. In like a fun way, for sure.
Yeah. It was a good
But
time.
then we're almost about to wrap up, and then the local news people were trying to do their hits, and
Oh, brutal.
we had to like wait around while they ask questions, and they're gonna chop it up into like 4-second clips.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. But Sachs.
Oh wait, can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
That was kind of cute.
Yeah.
Is
What's
that they
cute?
said, the modern airport is designed where like they want to get you out, like people want to be out of the airport immediately, right? Like in like New York, you just like are just thrust out in the street. But they said in Pittsburgh, people like to actually meet people at the gate. So they have an actual like meters and greeters section. I thought that was so lovely. And that's such a Pittsburgh thing to meet people.
Has anyone ever done that here?
Yes.
You go meet people at the gate?
I've met people at the gate. Yeah, I always get them like a Turner's iced tea.
Scott,
Yes,
no one for you. No one's met you at the gate.
Nah, I don't do that. You got to come to me.
I remember being a kid and like my dad like meeting me at the Oh, that's another thing too. Once it's allowed, they're gonna allow people to buy day passes to go into the airport, so you can like walk with your
That's
family
nice.
member into.
That's
They
nice.
said, they said 9/11 really screwed that up. But
Really, what part about it? We won't cut that part out.
Keep
This
it.
is the second week in a row you say
Keep
it. It's not coming. It's staying in. It's staying in.
There was a
Dude,
slide that showed the
Fuck
two
that. I'm
towers.
sorry.
Remember that,
I
Adam?
say the most ridiculous shit. I'm sorry.
What,
ahead,
what,
Max.
what was
Adam,
that?
do you remember the slide that had the two towers on it? And George
Yeah.
H.W. Bush?
Dude, there was a slide at the safety orientation, and it was trying to portray a different time when the Pittsburgh airport was built and what was going
It was
on.
an effective slide.
And there was a picture. It was Clinton, I believe.
No, it was Clinton shaking George H.W. Bush's hand
Right.
with Ross Perot.
And then there was a picture of
U.S. Air.
U.S.
Your
Air.
dad had all the points on, Scott.
Yes.
There was a
Great
photo
memory.
of Barry Bonds,
Oh, the
As
good
a
old days.
pirate.
Okay. Okay. Ooh.
And
and
then
then,
there was two standing World Trade Centers.
yeah,
And it got that point across. that's
Never
for
forget.
never forget. Scott clearly hasn't. Boys, there's a lot of other stuff going on. Sachs has been real busy.
Mm.
And we unfortunately didn't get to make it out to Johnstown last week, but you had 2 shows, buddy.
Ooh, boys, it was a pinch me moment.
How'd it go?
Pinch me moment, my boys. And it really was like when the season ended and I was looking for places to go, and I said, I want to go to Johnstown. And 2 people I'm looking at right here said, why? Why is that?
Us? Talking about us?
Johnstown's horrible. No. Yeah, I mean, yes.
What the hell?
But and then when I was trying to it's been like 7 years since I've done like live shows significantly, and I've given I've been wanting to get back into it because I did it for like 8 years. I did live comedy,
Right.
and I was like, you know what? Go to Johnstown, dust off the old act, and then I added in like 40 new minutes of stuff, and it wasn't even like home cooking. I felt like everybody was like super excited. They all loved the videos. They're all so excited at like live comedy in Johnstown. They don't get a lot of they don't get a lot of comedy shows in Johnstown. And it was just like a dream. It was a freaking dream. And the first night, I was not expecting this. People left me $88 in tips.
That's cool.
Wow.
In Johnstown. Imagine what you do here, man.
I'm like, is it just I've never heard of a comedian getting a tip. I was like, do I have that much of like a grifter story?
Yeah, he's probably
Well,
getting
we know
grifted
you
off
do
of us.
that.
He's
I'm
getting
like, am I-
grifted anyways.
I thought we were laughing the entire time, and then like people were like, do they feel bad for me? You don't have to feel bad for me. But I
That's
think people
funny.
just liked the videos, so they wanted to give me a little extra or something. But I was not expecting that, man.
Do any crowd work?
Crowd work?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I did about 10 minutes of Gallagher's crowd work. You know, I
can't wait to see
taped
this.
I taped a bottle of Gallagher's under a couple audience members' chairs.
Oh, he's not kidding. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Gallagher's is just funny to me. They
You
had the
didn't do, like, the-
Newcastle, right?
you
Was
didn't
that
do, like, the
Gallagher's
classic?
territory?
No, I don't think so. No.
Like you didn't do the classic, like, hey Scott, what do you do for a living, sir? What do you do?
I
And
think
I
I
said-
did about. I think I did a lot of riffing on Johnstown, but you know the thing about here's the dirty secret about crowd work. It's not difficult.
Like, you just
That's
talk
why
to-
that's why everybody does it, and that's why everybody clips it. It's like if you're just like a witty, funny person, it's not very hard.
No, all
and,
you do is you ask somebody what they do for a living, and then they say it, and then you say it back to the crowd in like kind of
A
like
condescending tone. Yes.
and everyone's like, oh,
That's part of it. And then also
Yeah.
the thing is they're not showing the 80 other times where it's just a
right.
You know what I mean? It's so
Time out.
yes.
I had
But yeah, I mean, I could not have asked again. Johnstown delivers, and another exciting thing is, it was the first time this space was doing a live event, and it was like super successful. It's like this kind of like art space, and they have a room that's very like low ceilings, tight, seats about 30 people. And so I'm going to go back and I'm going to recommend it to, live performances for other people. Go to Johnstown, work on stuff. Everybody win. People bought art off the wall. They made money. I made money. I was able to work. I was able to hang out with people. It was a pinch me moment. And now we got Greensburg coming up 320. We got Pittsburgh coming up 327. And then I'm doing Wilmington, North Carolina, and I'm doing Cumberland, Maryland coming up too. I'll have those dates soon, but it's just going to keep rolling and rolling and rolling. And basically the idea will be I'll go to a town, I'll do a show, and then I'll stay like 3 days and make like videos about the town. And then the show will pay for the travel to the town and hopefully a little extra too. So
Greensburg, I want you to be careful in Greensburg, okay? Because that's where Jay Leno fell down a hill.
Do you not think I have that exact hill starred? Do you not think I already have that hill starred in my content? And there's gonna
I need
be
it.
Jay Leno hill.
The Jay Leno.
Can Saxboy conquer the Jay Leno hill?
Can you imagine? There's a picture of me in Greensburg. It's like 2 times worse.
Brutal, dude. Absolutely brutal. That's awesome. I'm proud of you, man. That's
Thanks,
huge.
boys.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
By the way, the
live.
Pittsburgh show, I know it's going to be the night of opening day. I think opening day is probably a 1:00 game. So
Adam's in Phoenix.
At Phoenix, but I'll be there, man. It's
Awesome.
327 Bottle Rocket. I believe that's like McKees Rocks area.
No,
West
it's
End.
Arlington or it's,
Arlington. Okay,
it's right up the T. The T is now running up there, so you can just take the T up there. It's like the first stop on the top of the hill. It's a really cool venue. Like it's like sick. We're really lucky in Pittsburgh to have that venue because he brings in like, Catch a Rising Star, like up and coming acts, and it's really well curated. So it's awesome, and I'm hoping to turn that into every 2 months, possibly. I'll do a show there every 2 months, and yeah, I mean, I would like to do every month, but we'll see how the tickets sell. But yeah, man, it's exciting. It's exciting to bring this part of this live performance was a part of my life for a long time, and it's like comedy. It was like riding a bike. I just got back up there, and
that's awesome. Man.
Yeah, again, Scott, I'm gonna put you in the front row, and I'm just gonna
heckle me, please. Call me a spaghetti vendor. I don't care. Do what you gotta do, man.
Spaghetti vendor.
Scott's law will say that. That's fine.
I'm allowed to say that. Yeah.
I've never said that before.
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
No, he's got a whole Rolodex of them. But real quick, how many minutes were you up there?
Dude, I did both times. I think the first night I did 59 minutes and the second night I did 57 minutes. And I didn't have an opener, that's the thing I learned is just need someone to do like 5 to 10 minutes of stand up beforehand and then introduce me just to get people laughing a little bit. But yeah, I used about 20 minutes that I had previously and then 40 minutes of new stuff, and I was pleasantly surprised. So yeah, you should keep working on it. Nice.
Scott, do you want to open for him?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll do my best. Maybe if we start in like a podcast setting, I could get comfortable and go from there. But I don't know if comedy shows work.
The key with the opener is like you want to do well, but like not too well. So
I feel like I'll get canceled.
Scott just reverts to the worst material ever. He panics.
Buckle Banner co-host gets accused of anti-Semitism at comedy.
Well, that's the thing about, because I have no record of like my stand-up online. So there was this one moment where Amy, shout out to Amy, by the way, in the creative corner and all the people over there in Johnstown. Amy was looking at, we were like talking, and she's like, yeah, we just kind of assumed you don't really do like political stuff or anything. And I was like, no, you've assumed correctly. Because that'd be hilarious.
Sax. Let me change that.
I think the whole act should be political.
Yeah.
I'll touch on
how about those Russians?
He's got 20 minutes on Russia.
Putin guy's kind of cool, right?
That's Scott's bit when he gets up there. So how about Putin?
And Saxboy Billy, welcome on.
Putin guy is kind of cool. Like, where's the humor in that? He's just like
I
you're
thought
just
it was
bragging about
hilarious.
how cool he is.
I thought it was pretty fun. I don't know about you.
I love it. It's kind of like anti-humor.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Andy
think it would be like
Kaufman.
a good bit if I opened for you and I was a host and I started it off with crowd work and I asked the first person, like, hey, what do you do for a living? Like, I'm a carpenter. I said, oh, cool. And then I asked the next person, hey, like, what do you do for a living? Like, I'm a teacher. And then I ask the next person, like, hey, what do you do for a living?
Roll threes.
A lawyer. You thought I was going to stop at 3. I go on and ask everybody, in the
Every
room
single person,
for
yeah, I was
5 minutes, and I go, all right, Sax Boy Billy, and then you come on and
You're kind of the host of this show, Adam. I mean, usually your opener is talk about the weather. We talk about legs being out and
yeah, legs being out, the weather's nice. What are you guys up to? Yada yada yada, and the show goes on. So I think I could bullshit for 5 minutes.
I honestly think you and you if you don't think we're doing a live show at some point, you're crazy. I mean, as this just continues to grow, like yeah, it's I was also like when I was doing stand up, the longest I think I ever did was like 30 minutes, like back in the day. So I basically doubled that in time.
It's a long
And
time.
I thought I was a lot stronger now. And it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool. There's just like I remember when I was doing stand up. I started when I was 20 years old. I did it from like 20 to 26, more or less. And I remember doing it and being like, I have nothing to talk about. Like I'm 20 years old and all I do is open mics. Like what am I going to talk about? There's a lot has happened in between then. So
Well, Sax, let me ask you something. I'm just curious, and you don't have to answer this, but how much does the sobriety have to play with that? Because I know, like,
big time.
Big time?
Big time. Yeah, because the bones of it are like this lead I give at AA meetings. I gave it like 3 times. And that's what kind of gave me kind of like the emphasis to go do live performance again. Because a lead's very like low stakes. You basically tell your story about how you got sober and it's about 40 minutes. And I enjoy public speaking and stuff. So yeah, it has a lot to do with it. And that's why my thing is like a show. It's like stand up, yeah, but it's like also a show because it tells the whole arc of how I got to Johnstown, and and you guys are a part of my story now.
Wow.
You like that? You're the worst part of the story.
I was
gonna say not a positive one, but I'm part of it. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
We're all part of it, man.
Exactly. I'm pumped to see where this goes, and yeah, a live show in the future would be awesome. So hopefully people keep listening. If not,
I'm sure you guys with the Bucko Banner are going to do a live show at some point
soon.
We've technically done like
we have done a live show,
like
live-ish.
a little bit, but we're definitely gonna do a more legit live show. I definitely see that in our future. Yeah.
I would probably say this year. Very soon.
Love that. I'll be in attendance.
Got some cool stuff planned. But boys, before we wrap up, I wanted to talk about hobbies, stuff that you're interested in outside of
model
9
trains
to 5 or model trains or whatever Sax does, on a daily basis. Just content. You're a content monster.
Hobbies.
You're a content monster. So like outside of making content, like what brings you joy?
Ooh.
And this isn't going to lead into a story about someone getting murdered.
No.
Well, a Colorado man's not his joy was jet skiing and the jet ski.
Don't do this to me again, Adam.
He got sliced into half by a sea-doo.
Man, I don't
what
know.
brings you guys joy? Sax?
Honestly, I gotta be honest because it's a lot different for you. A hobby of mine, I would say, is baseball.
Yeah.
That's like kind of like the thing that's, I don't know, totally something I consume that doesn't, I mean, I've kind of turned it into something, but I'm not really in the baseball space, but I like watching it, and that would be a hobby for me. It would be baseball.
I would say baseball and then late 90s hip hop.
That's a hobby. Like exploring late 90s hip hop, diving into that.
I love listening to, especially like just to be more specific, like New York, East Coast, 90s hip hop.
Dum 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 dum. Nas.
Yes, Nas is my goat.
Queensbridge.
Amazing. Well, I love that for both of you. I mean, it's good to see your
Here's where it
friends
sets up the
happy and
story.
exploring things outside of like their day-to-day lives. But for
Where's
me,
this gonna go?
for me, it's collecting cards.
Mm.
Okay. Like recently I'm very into baseball cards. I
That
love
is the hobby. They call them hobby
Yeah,
shops.
it's the hobby.
Yeah.
I love ripping open cards. I mean, that's probably a deeper gambling problem layered in there somewhere. But
Disposable income.
I love. Listen, it's fun for me. I love opening up cards, like the mystery of what's inside. Are you going to get a big hit? I've recently been getting into like graded cards, so investing in guys like for baseball. I'm a big baseball guy, obviously. So guys who I think are going to be good in the future, gambling on that, hopefully get a big return later on. So I'm always on eBay. I'm always bouncing around to different card stores, and I found something very interesting. I used to collect Pokemon when I was a kid.
Hell yeah.
I'm sure both of you did as well.
I had all
Scott's a loser.
151. I had all 151 in a thing. I had none of the
And-
nice ones. I had all the cheap
Sorry, I'm
ones. I
not a
had-
nerd.
Some of them, like the Charizard, I had the Japanese one.
Well, that could have been worth something. And that's a good segue here, Sax, because there was something similar to a Charizard that sold on Golden, which is a big auction site. Ken Golden
site.
sells like all of the big cards and memorabilia. This is called the Cheetozard. Do you guys know just off of that what I'm talking about? This is called the Cheetozard. CHEE.
It's like a meme coin.
Cheetozard. No, it's a physical thing.
I know the Hawktua coin.
It's got to be a
All the
Cheeto
money
that
off
looks like a It's got to be a Cheeto that looks like a Charizard, right?
Perfect. You're so smart. Presented is a 3-inch long flamin' hot Cheeto in the shape of a Pokemon Charizard, affixed to a custom Pokemon card encapsulated in a clear card storage box. It was initially discovered and preserved sometime between 2018 and 2022 by First and Gold Collectibles. The Cheeto surged into popularity on social media platforms in late 2024 and recently was purchased at auction on March
Don't tell me.
2nd,
Let me guess.
2025. So my question to you gentlemen is, how much did the Cheetozard sell for?
So this is going to be an answer. It's obviously going to be higher, and this is going to be a thing too. It's like if you can't make money off the internet, you're just not trying. Like seriously, like I'm going to say $12,000.
Okay, so Sax comes in at 12K.
I'm gonna go 20K. I was gonna say 12. And
Are you writing that? What are you doing over there? You writing that
12K,
down?
20K, because I want to give you guys one more guess.
Okay.
I
Realistically, what I would pay for it, $1.
Yeah, I was going to say one more guess, $600.
Okay.
It's going to be
So
more.
it sold for 87
K?
$1,000 and $87,840.
Did they like adhesive the Cheetos so it doesn't break or something? Or
It is in a card. They somehow, yeah, it's
they like
glued
molded it
to a
around?
card that says Cheetozard. Go look it up. It looks like a Charizard.
Again, I bet the person that did this had like 100 different other attempts at like, oh, there's a Dorito that looks like
Jesus.
Shanghai Shek or something. Yeah, like
People love finding chips that look like Jesus.
like that is
That's a real like. seen that
there
multiple
is
times.
so much this is the richest country in the history of the world. Okay? The richest country in the history of the world. If you can't make money off the internet doing so, you're not trying. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You know what that money would get you in Mongolia? That's like you could live for 10 years off that in Mongolia. I mean, that is just pure like FU money. Like, let me do it for the story. Like, I hate that. I hate it.
Yeah. In other news, a man in Australia was brutally beat by a 6-foot kangaroo that weighed 220 pounds, and it's in an
I knew this was coming.
it's in an elderly community, so everybody's a little bit on edge. with the recent kangaroo tax. But that was fun, guys. Let's do that again sometime. I had a great time this week on the Sax Cast. Any closing words?
Well, we
Jen?
have to talk before we
Well,
leave.
yeah,
Oh
we
yeah,
gotta talk about
big week,
content house.
Like-
big week.
Content House.
Going down the Bradenton. Sax is going to be down there tomorrow.
So can I just
happening?
let me just go on Content Houses for a little bit, because I was a passive consumer of the internet for the last 8 years. I sat in the sidelines. I just watched. And when I think of a content house, I think of a place where there's a couch with three
What color is
microphones
the
sitting on a
couch?
table.
What color is the couch?
Probably purple, probably because the theme of like maybe like that's the Doritos flavor that they're sponsoring is also purple.
Okay.
So they get a purple couch. There's like a sign draped in the back that says like Doritos Fire or something. There's like pillows that have like a different ad on it for like Raising Canes or something. There's mischief that gets up to in the house. There's, you know, the underlings, the interns and whatnot are always, you know, filming the conversations being had over breakfast, you know, that kind of stuff. I mean, the content house is so synonymous with like modern day content creation. I'm so excited to be in one. There's gonna be pranks. We're not gonna do like Jackass style pranks, right?
Yeah,
You
We
tell
don't
me.
have a pool, right?
No pool.
we're making
Okay,
a pool.
good.
Just cement.
That's even worse.
A
for
watering.
pranks.
We have a watering hole.
Yeah.
Cement prank.
I wanted the pool. I thought the pool was a good idea for the content house.
What?
Host one.
I'm gonna make a song. I'm gonna try to make a song when I'm there called about Content House and how it's just all white dudes. It's always white dudes
I'm
with
Italian.
1 to 10,000 followers. 1 to 10,000 followers making content with an Italian.
And,
It's gonna be
well,
like
never-
what's gonna be in the fridge?
Don't.
What did I miss something?
No, Scott's just being a fucking absolute goon.
Dude.
All right,
I wonder what the
fridge.
fridge is gonna look like. Like what do you guys? It's gonna be like. Is it gonna be like Chipotle leftovers?
It's definitely not going to be what Andrew Destiny eats. It's going to
Yeah, I'm
be
probably
like,
gonna eat out most days.
Oh yeah.
And then at night, maybe we order Uber Eats.
Are we
Maybe
gonna?
get
Yeah.
some
Are we gonna do
eggs,
like?
I don't know.
pizza.
Are we gonna do like communal food or?
Maybe like we get some cereal, oatmeal.
Or oatmeal cream pies,
Love oatmeal cream pies.
OCPs.
Big
love that.
OCP guy.
What
What about a DDOCP?
double decker?
Double decker.
DDOCP. Yeah, you know me. There's some '90s hip hop for you.
There we go.
I don't know.
But-
I don't know what I want. I'm probably gonna eat out most days just to make my life a little bit easier. But maybe I'll go grab some eggs and bacon, cook up some breakfast
We
for
should
the
definitely do that.
boys.
Yeah, communal food never works out though, because there's always going to be someone that eats more than the rest of the people, and you have this resentment towards like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just so curious. And then we're gonna have 4 microphones, so we'll do sax casts. Just at the end of the day, like when we're all delirious, we can just do like a couple episodes. Because why the hell not? It's a content house. You got to make content in it.
Exactly. If not, it's just the house.
I don't know. I don't think I can. I think I'm gonna sleep on the couch because I can snore sometimes.
Okay.
You're a snorer.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm not. I don't
I
drink
have s-
anymore.
I have socks.
What does that mean?
Just
Shove
shove
down
them
my
your
mouth?
throat.
You're gonna just choke them.
Is that how you deal with snore?
It's a classic content
Yeah,
content
Fun.
house prank.
that's what I've done
Jesus,
with all my
man.
ex-girlfriends that snored. So
Oh my
Okay.
god!
Oh my
Alright.
god.
Can we not end on that?
this is going off the rails.
Yeah.
I'm
What, are
kidding,
you guys gonna sleep in the same room? Are you gonna sleep with the bunk
I
beds?
think we have enough. Are there bunk beds?
There are bunk beds.
I don't care. I'll sleep wherever. I want a bed probably, but
I honestly don't care, but like I'll sleep on a couch too. But it's gonna be fun. Jim Rosati will be in the mix. First time we make.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I love it.
And our good friend, also named Adam, will be there too. So good
Shibuya.
company. Can't wait. Sax, have fun during the time that we're not down there. We'll see you on Thursday. In the meantime, this episode will be out on Wednesday. Go watch it on YouTube at Sax Boy Billy 8.
And
team.
thank you, everybody in Johnstown. Thank you.
Thank
And
you to everybody in Johnstown.
Greensburg 320, Pittsburgh 327.
Go follow on all social media at the Saxcast, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
See ya.